After the violence at the prestigious Jadavpur University in Kolkata between cops and students now begins, the Vice-Chancellor of the university blames the students for unruly behavior. The VC, who was geared out by agitating students over inaction in a molestation case, says he was forced to seek help from the police as students tried to assault him. Meanwhile, the 37 students who were arrested over last night's violence have been released. The Students' Union has called for a boycott of classes and demanded the VC's resignation.
I have seen a number of students whose faces were unknown, and our teachers, they told that they were not their students. They were sitting in demonstration and they turned violent during that operation.
So what is your next steps?
We need to consult our executive council, and I will inform it to the government, and accordingly we will proceed.
Indrajit Kundu, our correspondent, now joining us live on the story. Indrajit, we understand that the students, in fact, who were held by the police have been released. But what happens now of the molestation case, considering that, the students were demanding a fresh probe panel? The student that was actually molested allegedly has gone back. So what happens to the case from now?
Well, Sanjana, the student had filed an FIR against 10 people in that molestation case, which came to light on August 28. This is the case against which all these students across Jadavpur University, they have been demanding that there should be a fresh internal complaints committee, because the complaints committee that was already formed, they say, has not been able to perform its duty impartially. They want a fresh committee made which will have a retired judge, which will have a women's rights activist, and which should also have a psychologist. That is the demand. But that has not been accepted by the university authorities, and that's what has led to this latest round of fiasco between the students as well as the university authorities. Well, the universities remains adamant. They say that they have already formed a complaints committee. It is probing the matter. There's nothing much that they can do about it. But the students here are very adamant right now. They not only want a fresh, complaints committee be made, but they are also demanding the resignation of the Vice-Chancellor. They have lodged an FIR against the Vice-Chancellor, the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, and other officials of the university after yesterday's police action. They are very agitated, and this evening at around 4, they are once again going to take out a rally from the Jadavpur University, pressing forth their demand. In the meantime, the Vice-Chancellor has spoken out. He has laid the blame completely on the students, saying that the agitation was unruly, undemocratic, and they were resorting to violent means. It would be interesting to see how the government reacts, but what we are learning right now, even the government has said that the police should have been much more careful in handling the situation.
Indro, back with us. Indro, we understand that the VC has not been removed, and we even remember that the victim's father, wanted to meet with Mamata Banerjee and sort of find a way to resolve this issue. But we don't see anything really happening on ground, especially since the students have, they've filed this FIR, there's a fresh probe panel. But what seems to be happening here is just one side is only being repressed.
Well, as far as the probe panel is concerned, I was talking to students this morning, and they were telling me that, the probe panel did visit the victim's house. However, the kind of questions that were being asked to the victim, it gave the sense that perhaps they were trying to victimize the victim herself. And that's the sense that they have got after speaking to the victim herself. And that's the reason why they have no confidence as far as this internal complaints committee is concerned. That's the reason why they say that an internal complaints committee comprising of teaching staff from within Jadavpur University is not going to help the cause. They need a retired judge. They need people from outside, representatives from outside the university must be brought into the complaints committee, so that there is an impartial probe and a report is submitted and there is action which is initiated after that.
But Idro, stay with us. Let's just listen into some of the reactions coming in from the students.
Going on for the last 150 hours, and last night at 2:30 a.m. the lights went off and people in civil clothes, they came and they attacked us. I am a victim. We were molested in the in the middle of the night. Not the police, people in the civil clothes, and the police, they charged us. There was on us. We were unarmed and we did not attack them back because we are just fighting for justice, and we were making music at that time. And then we went over and we blocked the Jadavpur crossing, and then we were threatened as usual again that we have to. We just want the VC to come. You know, we wanted an impartial investigation about the 28th molestation case which happened in the campus. But then the VC refused to come and meet us. And I don't know how he channelized his whatever he had to say through the students, through the teachers and through the police, majorly through the police yesterday. And right now, after whatever happened, after the lathi charge, after the molestation case, people have been picked up, arrested, there are people in the hospitals. We just want the VC to resign right now.
The one thing what I can say as a JU student is that what happened is shameful. Some people came in civil dress. We are not sure whether they were police or not. They may be the 3MC cadres. They came and caught us and thrown away. I was thrown thrice. The police has already said that they are invited by the Vice-Chancellor. And now we don't consider our Honorable Vice-Chancellor to be our guardian. We want him to resign.
Indrajit Kundu still with us. Indra, we understand that the students have in fact been released. But now that that's happened, do we know that if the VC is actually going to agree to meet these students?
Well, it's a holiday today as far as the university is concerned. We spoke to the Vice-Chancellor. He was very, dismissive about any prospect of any further negotiation. Remember, there was negotiations which were taking place last evening. The university authorities did speak to the student council, and there are several student bodies who went together. However, none of their proposals were acceptable to the university authorities, and that's the reason why the talks fell through. And then since then there was a demonstration outside the Vice-Chancellor's office leading to a gherao. It was still about 2 a.m. in the morning.
Right, we'll try and get back to Indrajit Kundu, who is giving us the latest. But remember, the 37 students who were arrested after the violence that took place in Jadavpur University, they have in fact been released, but the Vice-Chancellor has blamed the unruly students for the police inaction.